It's chaos, carnage, and complete social upheaval. Welcome to WMUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 British dystopia movies. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at British feature films set in a dystopian world. We're excluding short films though, which means The War Game isn't here, no matter how remarkable it was. Number 10, The Lobster.
Your last relationship lasted how many years?
Around 12.
A depiction of dystopia quite unlike any other, The Lobster deals primarily with a tense and unpredictable quest for love, because anyone who doesn't find legitimate romance will be turned into an animal. Colin Farrell takes the lead as his character arrives at the hotel after his wife leaves him. From there, he has 45 days to find the right partner, who may or may not be Rachel Weisz, or else he'll transform into the movie's titular crustacean.
Now, have you thought of what animal you'd like to be if you end up alone?
Yes, a lobster.
The toast of film fest critics everywhere, it's an offbeat comedy that gets more and more sinister with every passing second.
Would you like to dance?
Number 9, Dredd.
Whoever to shoot you.
While Sliced Alone in the 1995 adaptation was all kinds of disappointing, this 2012 revival of everyone's favourite comic book Cup struck precisely the right tone. With Carl Urban bringing the Judge back to life for the big screen, the story unfolds amidst a drug epidemic in Mega City 1, with the ultra-addictive slow-mo causing plenty of problems.
Sound like overkill to you?
With Pete Travis in the director's chair and Alex Garland as writer and producer, this movie forced us all to stand up and take note, while the calls for a sequel have barely abated ever since.
Control to Dredd, come in. Is your pursuit resolved?
Affirmative.
Number 8, Things to Come.
Why should we surrender life to the brutes and fools?
I loved you. I wanted to serve you and make life happy for you.
Penned by the legendary science fiction writer H.G. Wells, Things to Come is the earliest film to make today's countdown, and a standard setter for sci-fi dystopias everywhere. Inspired by Wells' own work, the film foresees a nation and entire planet ravaged by endless war, with some parts providing an eerily close resemblance to how 20th century history actually panned out. From the initial fighting to biological weapons to 21st century space exploration, it's a film that boldly goes where few others could even imagine.
Suppose I've walked into trouble.
Yeah, you can take that as right.
Where have you come from?
I flew from our headquarters at Basra this morning. We have some hundreds of new type planes and we're building more, fast.
Number 7, Fahrenheit 451.
Fahrenheit 451 is the temperature at which book paper catches fire and starts to burn.
Of course, the novel on which this film is based was written by an American, Ray Bradbury, but the British were the driving force behind the adaptation, which was filmed at Pinewood Studios. However, with a French director and an Austrian lead, the film does have a global feel to it, which works especially well given the scope of the story.
Hello?
Listen, get out.
What?
Hurry.
Who's that?
Quickly, get moving. For God's sake, get out of there.
Hello?
In it, an oppressed society is kept under control by the burning of all books and literature, envisaging an attack on our freedom and ensnaring of our imaginations. This particular future is very far from bright.
So, will you come play with us? You will? Good. I thought you would. Come in, cousins. Be one of the family.
See here, Charles, do you realize what a dilemma this is?
Number 6, V for Vendetta.
Swaths of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
Few films have carved their own niche into popular culture quite as effectively as this one. V for Vendetta sees Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman take the fight to a totalitarian state, with Weaving playing the eponymous Guy Fawkes-inspired freedom fighter. And as anarchy is generally unearthed, V's mask becomes a symbol for ruthless, determined protest.
There's no certainty, only opportunity.
I think you can be pretty certain that if anyone does show up, Creedy will black bag every one of them.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Based on the comic series by Alan Moore and David Lloyd, and written for the screen by the Wachowskis, it's two fingers to authority and a tour de force of bellicose brilliance.
Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, Mr. Creedy. And ideas are bulletproof.
Number 5, Brazil.
I mean, I love you. I mean, in my dreams, I love you. And, I mean, extraordinary, isn't it?
With Monty Python's Terry Gilliam in the director's chair, you might expect this to be a bright, breezy, and comedic careen through the concept of dystopia. But no, in fact, Brazil is the total opposite. Following Jonathan Pryce's Sam Lowry as he struggles to survive within a corrupt and paranoid bureaucracy, the film tackles wide-ranging issues including government, the police, plastic surgery, and treason.
I'll deactivate her.
What does that mean, Sam? I don't want to get involved in anything unsavory.
Trust me, Jack.
It's arguably a movie remembered most for its ending, but barely a scene passes when the tension isn't top-notch.
Listen, Chin, we're all in this together.
Number 4, A Clockwork Orange.
Name? Alexander Delarge.
A difficult to watch but definite cult classic, Stanley Kubrick's inspired adaptation of Anthony Burgess's novel is still held as one of the finest and most frightening dystopic creations out there. Charting the rise and fall of its ultimate anti-hero, Alex Delarge, A Clockwork Orange brings to life a world of ultra-violence, intimidation, indoctrination, and Beethoven. With left and right-wing influences seen throughout the film, this is a future society that at times doesn't seem a million miles away from our own, which makes it all the more troubling.
I'll teach you to break into real people's houses!
Number 3, 28 Days Later.
They're dead. And you're gonna be next.
A discussion on dystopias just wouldn't be complete without at least a passing reference to zombies, would it? 28 Days more than hints at the undead, however, it's a full-on bloody barrage of rise again anarchy. Amidst an outbreak of a rage-inducing virus, it's survival of the fittest, fastest, and luckiest.
Let's shop.
Jim and his friends band together to try and stay safe, but this particular visualization of societal collapse offers very little hope for escape. Forget The Walking Dead, these things can run. And once they have you in their sights, there's not much you can do about it.
Plans are pointless. Staying alive's as good as it gets.
Number 2, Children of Men.
Even if they discovered the cure for infertility, it doesn't matter.
Taking place 18 years since the birth of the last child, Children of Men pictures global infertility as the reason for the downfall of humanity. Without new lives being brought into this world, global governments fall, and violence and corruption has spread. However, there is some hope in the form of the miraculously pregnant Key.
Everybody's alright. She's pregnant. Now you know what's at stake.
While she and her child are forever at risk of capture, Clive Owen does his damnedest to ensure that they are safe. But can he really defy such eye-watering odds? And will the human race ever re-emerge from the deep-set war it's waging with itself?
We're almost there.
Number 1, 1984.
Right. Let's see which one of us can touch his toes. Right over from the hips, brothers and sisters, please.
An adaptation of perhaps the most influential dystopian novel of all time, 1984 delivers a chilling but unforgettable look at what an oppressive future might look like. George Orwell created Airstrip 1, Oceana, and Big Brother back in 1949, but John Hurt steps into the role of Winston Smith 35 years later, with the story still striking home with the same unrelenting hopelessness.
I want everyone corrupt.
Well, I ought to suit you then. I'm corrupt to the core.
Winston and his illicit lover Julia briefly believe they've beaten the system and enjoy a secret affair. But love is outlawed in this world, and there's no escaping the all-seeing eye of the powers that be.
There's no love except love of Big Brother. All competing pleasures we will destroy.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.